Welcome to this Let's Play of Puddle, a game about crazy water physics and horrible science experiments that have gone wrong. My name is Psychedelic Ibe. Okay, unfortunately my name doesn't fit properly, so a change of name is in order. Ah, that's much better. So, we're gonna play the PC version of this game, which has the courtesy of including a normal difficulty mode, which makes the game definitely more approachable despite it being for whiners, but we'll go with it. So let's start with the first world, Watercourse. And here we have some pretty interesting insight on the world of Puddle, in which a protagonist works in a drum store or something, judging by all of the noises that we're hearing. But one thing is sure, this man will regret leaving his cup of coffee unattended. Why will he even pour himself a cup of coffee and leaving it there on the table? But this is a question that we will never need to hear an answer of. In Puddle, there are only two controls to remember. You can either make the screen tilt left or right. And by doing so, you're making it so that the water will be able to move around and be set in motion, and your goal is to guide all of your massive liquid to the end of an obstacle course. Since this is the first level of the game, things are still pretty easy. But rest assured, things will not be that way for very long. And here we go, we're finished with the first level of the game. At the end of every level, you're being graded on your performance. You first have the time that you took in order to reach the end of the level, and each bonus particle of water that you got to the end of the level will subtract your time. Every level of the game will grade you on your performance based on the bonus particles of water that you brought to the end of the level differently. So, in some levels of the game, in order to get gold medals, you may have to go really fast and don't care for the amount of liquid that you need. Or you'll have to be very cautious and bring all of your liquid to the end because it may end up having a huge impact on your final time. On level 2, we finally start seeing some proper obstacles into the game. We have hot plates of fire which are laying all around the place, and if you let your water on them for too long, it will evaporate and sizzle out of existence. But it's pretty forgiving into that instance, and you'd have to deliberately try in order to have any kind of water lost in this section of the game. Wait for it. And here we go, we can launch ourselves all around the place. We may not control any kind of living being in this game, but we can still kick ass. Okay, but we can also burn to death. Be very careful in some of these levels. Since we're on the first course of the game, I mean the first world, we're still having a pretty tame set of obstacles, but much later into the game, the levels will require an increasing amount of trial and error, and sometimes you may not know ahead of time about the obstacles that you have to go through before you can be successful with the level. Them's the break with this game. So we need to build up some momentum in order to go to the place which is indicated by the arrows in order to open up the hatch leading to the exit. You often have to trigger certain mechanisms or push buttons in many of the levels in the game in order to progress forward. Oh, unfortunately we couldn't bring all of our liquid together. Only the liquid that gets to the end point of the level will matter. Yeah, we didn't have much of an issue getting a gold medal onto this one level, and notice how come we're part of the Whiners Club. But if you want real medals, you're gonna have to play on the extreme difficulty. I'll talk about it a little bit later. Also, it should be noted that you do not need to get a medal on a level in order to progress forward with the game. Only by beating the level, you will be able to gain the required rights in order to be able to progress on further with the game. The music in this game is a pretty interesting mix of either pretty upbeat electronic music, and sometimes the music tends to be a little bit more meditative and more new agey. It just allows you to concentrate even better on all of the maneuvers that you have to pull through here. In this level, you have to learn how to keep all of your liquid together. Sometimes it may be a whole lot harder to do, but you have to learn how to do it, because if your liquid gets dispersed all over the place, it will pretty much become impossible to control, and therefore this kind of accident will happen. As much as I love this game, I do have to say that the first world of the game is by far the least interesting one of the bunch. And also note how come the hit detection on the fire is pretty forgiving. You have to hit the fire pretty much head on in order for your water to disappear. But with that said, the first world of the game is probably the most boring one of the bunch. The later worlds will definitely ramp up the craziness a whole lot more. Oh, so we needed to be a little bit faster in order to get this gold medal. Oh well. We'll get it later in another video. But for now, we're gonna talk about the differences in difficulty that you have whenever you play on the extreme difficulty. In order to get people more in the clear, the extreme difficulty is pretty much the way the game was built on the other consoles prior to the PC release. And this was a game that was pretty much criticized by a lot of game critics because it was too hard. And those bits of footage will help you figure it out, but yeah, the first level there's absolutely nothing which has changed. The second level is where you'll see the first significant change in gameplay. This one section right here has changed a whole lot on the extreme difficulty. Oh god, this ramp lowers all the way, so yeah, there's no fancy jump for you this time around, at least not unless you time it really right. So I guess I'm lucky that I'm still going, because my liquid count has decreased dramatically. Because if your liquid falls below the red line at any given moment, like it's pretty much about to do, well, you lose the level, because you need to bring this much liquid in order to beat the level, otherwise you have to restart. And there are no checkpoints into this game, by the way, but at least all of the levels in this game are really short. And talk about a stroke of bad luck, because I took the long path, I also have to take the long path downward. I'm certainly not gonna get any medals with this, so I'm just gonna skip forward to the end of the level just in order to see how well we fared into this one level. I know the results won't be pretty, but yeah, it won't be pretty, especially if I'm forgetting some of my water. Yeah, this little driplet of water will have an impact on my final score, mind you. Yeah, we're pretty much not gonna get anything here. Yeah, we don't even get a medal. Sorry, but you can't always be a winner. Remember when I said that the hit detection with the fire and the liquid was much forgiving? Well, on Extreme you will see that things have definitely changed, and not for the pleasant. Yeah, all of these impacts earlier were things that didn't kill off my water, but this time we don't have the same kind of luck, so you have to be a whole lot more careful here. But other than that, there's no changes to the level itself. So that'll be it for the first half of the Watercourse. I hope you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for the second half of the Watercourse, in which we're gonna do some main roller coaster action with our water.